To bring any wish to reality, one must first understand the fundamental principle: your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner state. The experiences you encounter, the circumstances you find yourself in, and even the relationships you nurture or neglect all stem from the condition of your internal world. The key to manifesting any desire is to recognize that everything begins within you. It is the understanding that the seed of what you wish to experience has already been planted, and now your task is to nurture that seed until it grows and bears fruit. The most critical step in manifesting your wish is recognizing that your imagination is the tool through which creation happens. Every reality you encounter, every wish fulfilled or unfulfilled, begins as a thought or a vision in your mind. Your imagination is not a frivolous tool. It is the creative power that shapes your life. If you can imagine it clearly and vividly, you can bring it into existence. In this sense, the world outside is not the source of your experiences, but the result of your inner life. Once you acknowledge the power of your imagination, you must learn to wield it with purpose and intention. The key here is identifying with the outcome you desire. You must see yourself as already possessing what you wish for. If your desire is wealth, then you must imagine yourself already enjoying that wealth, not as some distant possibility, but as a present reality. If you wish for love, you must feel as though you are already loved and cherished. If success is your goal, you must mentally inhabit the role of someone who has already achieved success. This is where the law of identical harvest comes into play. It means that whatever you sow in your mind through imagination and belief will be what you reap in reality. You cannot plant seeds of doubt, fear, or inadequacy and expect to harvest confidence, joy, and success. The harvest will always be identical to the seeds you plant. Therefore, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs must align with what you wish to experience. This law is unwavering. It operates with absolute precision. Just as a farmer cannot plant an apple seed and expect oranges, you cannot sow thoughts of lack and limitation and expect abundance and freedom. The next crucial aspect of bringing any wish to reality is persistence. Many people dabble with their desires. They think about what they want for a moment, then allow doubt and fear to creep in and dominate their thoughts. They may imagine themselves successful one day, and the next they fall back into old patterns of worry and self-doubt. This inconsistent thinking is the reason so many fail to manifest their desires. To successfully bring a wish into reality, you must persist in the assumption that it is already done. This means that, despite outer appearances, you hold firm to the inner vision of your fulfilled desire. You do not allow external circumstances to sway your conviction. No matter what the outside world shows you, you continue to believe in the reality of your wish fulfilled. This is not blind optimism. It is an unwavering commitment to your vision. As you persist, something remarkable begins to happen. The outer world, which once seemed so resistant to change, starts to shift. Circumstances begin to align in ways you could not have anticipated. People show up in your life who can help you. Opportunities arise that were previously hidden. But these changes are not random. They are the natural outgrowth of the seeds you have been planting and nurturing within your imagination. However, persistence does not mean force. You cannot compel the outside world to change through sheer willpower. Instead, you must remain calm, knowing that the change is already in progress, even if you cannot see it yet. The process of manifestation is much like the growth of a plant. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that, beneath the surface, the seed is doing its work, drawing nutrients from the soil and pushing its roots deeper into the earth. In the same way, your desire, once planted in your mind, will take root and grow. Your job is to trust the process, water it with positive thoughts, and give it the space to flourish. Another essential component of bringing any wish to reality is the feeling state. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. You must feel it deeply. Feeling is the secret to turning your thoughts into reality. When you engage your emotions and fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you are sending a powerful signal to the universe. Your emotions are the language through which you communicate your desires to the world, and they have the power to bring forth your imagined reality. To align with your wish emotionally, you must cultivate the feeling of already having what you desire. This might seem challenging at first, especially if your current reality looks nothing like your desired outcome. But this is the practice you are training your mind and emotions to operate from a new state of being. Every time you imagine your wish fulfilled, allow yourself to feel the joy, satisfaction, or peace that would come with it. Live in that emotional state as often as possible, and over time it will become your natural state. One of the most common obstacles to manifesting desires is the belief that we must know exactly how our wishes will come to fruition. We are taught that hard work and effort are the only ways to achieve our goals. While action has its place, it is not the starting point. The starting point is your belief in the reality of your wish fulfilled. The how will take care of itself once you align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with your desire. You do not need to know every step of the process. You only need to trust that the way will be revealed as you move forward with faith. Consider this: a person who wishes to travel to a distant city does not need to know the entire journey before they begin. They trust that as they move along the path, the next step will reveal itself. In the same way, as you hold your desire in mind and remain faithful to it, the next steps will naturally unfold. The universe, or the creative power within you, will orchestrate events, people, and circumstances in ways you cannot foresee. But this orchestration only happens when you let go of the need to control every detail and trust the process. It is also essential to release any attachment to the timing of your manifestation. Many people become discouraged because their desires do not appear immediately. They forget that just as a seed takes time to grow into a fully formed plant, so too does the process of manifestation take time. Patience is not about waiting idly, but about maintaining faith and confidence during the period between planting the seed and reaping the harvest. It is trusting that, even when you cannot see any visible changes, the work is still being done beneath the surface. During this period of waiting, it is crucial to guard your thoughts. Doubts and fears will naturally arise, but you must not dwell on them. Instead, reaffirm your belief in the inevitability of your wish fulfilled. Think of it as tending to a garden. If weeds of doubt begin to grow, you must pull them out before they choke the healthy plants. This is the mental discipline required to manifest your desires. It is not always easy, but the rewards are worth the effort. Bringing any wish to reality also requires that you be open to receiving. Many people are excellent at visualizing and affirming their desires, but are not open to receiving them. This may be due to feelings of unworthiness, guilt, or fear of change. If you hold any of these limiting beliefs, they will block the flow of your desires into your life. You must believe that you are worthy of receiving all the good things you wish for. You must allow yourself to accept the blessings that come your way, knowing that they are the natural result of your inner work. To truly bring any wish to reality, you must align every aspect of yourself with the outcome you desire: your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions. This is the essence of the law of identical harvest. You will always reap what you sow. So if you wish for abundance, sow thoughts of abundance. If you wish for love, sow thoughts of love. If you wish for success, sow thoughts of success. The harvest is guaranteed when you plant the right seeds and nurture them with faith and persistence. Bringing any wish to reality is not a mystical or unattainable process. It is a natural law that works as reliably as the law of gravity. By understanding the power of your imagination, persisting in the belief of your wish fulfilled, feeling the reality of your desire, and allowing the universe to unfold the path before you, you can bring any wish to fruition. The law of identical harvest ensures that the seeds you plant in your mind will always grow into the reality you experience. The question is not whether the law works, but whether you are willing to work with it. The life you desire is already within you, waiting to be brought into existence. To bring any wish to reality, one must first understand a fundamental principle: your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner state. Everything that unfolds in your life, the circumstances, experiences, relationships, and opportunities, is shaped by the condition of your internal world. Often we attribute the events of our lives to external forces, believing that the world around us dictates our reality. However, the truth is quite the opposite. The world you see and experience is a mirror of what you carry within yourself. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing your inner state. The key to manifesting any desire is to recognize that everything begins within you. It all starts in the mind. The seed of whatever you wish to experience has already been planted inside you, and it is your responsibility to nurture that seed until it grows and bears fruit in the external world. In other words, your thoughts and feelings are the creative forces that shape your reality. If you can imagine it, you can bring it into existence. The imagination is not a mere tool for entertainment, it is the source of all creation. Every invention, every achievement, and every fulfilled desire begins as an idea in the mind. Therefore, your imagination holds the key to your future. But simply understanding the power of imagination is not enough. You must learn how to use it effectively. The first step is identifying with the outcome you desire. You must see yourself as already possessing what you want. This is where most people fall short. They desire something, but they do not truly believe they can have it. They think of their desires as something far off in the future, something they will only attain if everything goes perfectly. But this way of thinking only reinforces the gap between where they are and where they want to be. To bring your wish to reality, you must eliminate that gap in your mind. You must begin to think and feel as though you already have what you want. If your desire is wealth, then you must imagine yourself living a life of abundance. Feel the joy and freedom that comes with financial security. If your goal is love, then you must imagine yourself being loved and cherished. Feel the warmth and connection of a loving relationship. If success is what you seek, then you must see yourself as already successful, accomplishing your goals with ease. This is the process of mentally and emotionally inhabiting the state of your wish fulfilled. This leads us to the concept of the law of identical harvest. The law of identical harvest states that whatever you plant in your mind will be exactly what you experience in your life. In other words, the thoughts and feelings you cultivate will eventually manifest in the external world. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and lack, you will harvest circumstances that reflect those inner states. If you plant seeds of confidence, abundance, and joy, you will experience a life that reflects those qualities. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Just as a farmer cannot plant an apple seed and expect oranges, you cannot sow thoughts of failure and expect success. The law of identical harvest is absolute. It works every time without fail. It does not matter whether you are aware of it or not, it is always in operation. The key to harnessing this law is to consciously choose what you plant in your mind. Most people allow their thoughts to run on autopilot, reacting to the events of their day without realizing that they are creating their future. But you have the power to take control of your mind and direct it toward the outcomes you desire. Once you have planted the seeds of your desire in your imagination, the next step is persistence. This is where many people struggle. They may imagine their desired outcome for a day or two, but then they allow doubt, fear, or external circumstances to shake their belief. They revert to their old patterns of thinking and feeling, and as a result, they fail to bring their wish into reality. To manifest your desires, you must persist in the belief that your wish is already fulfilled. This means that no matter what happens in the external world, you continue to hold the inner vision of your fulfilled desire. You do not waver in your belief, even when things seem to be going in the opposite direction. Persistence is not about forcing things to happen. It is about maintaining an unwavering belief in the reality of your wish, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. The outer world may not immediately reflect the changes you are making within yourself, but that does not mean the changes are not happening. Just like a seed takes time to grow into a plant, your desires take time to manifest. The process is happening beneath the surface, even if you cannot see it yet. Your job is to remain faithful to your vision and trust that it will come to fruition in its own time. During this period of persistence, it is essential to guard your thoughts and feelings. Negative thoughts and doubts will naturally arise, but you must not dwell on them. Every time you catch yourself thinking in a way that contradicts your desired outcome, gently redirect your mind back to the vision of your fulfilled desire. This is the mental discipline required to manifest your wishes. It is not enough to imagine your desire once and then forget about it. You must consistently align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the reality you want to create. In addition to persistence, another critical aspect of bringing any wish to reality is feeling. Feeling is the secret ingredient that turns your thoughts into reality. It is not enough to simply think about what you want, you must feel it as though it is already yours. Your emotions are the energy that powers your creative process. When you feel the joy, excitement, or peace that comes with having your desire, you are sending a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. To generate the feelings associated with your wish fulfilled, you must cultivate the habit of living in the end. This means that in your mind and emotions, you live as though your desire has already been realized. If you desire wealth, you must feel the security and freedom that comes with financial abundance, even if your current bank account says otherwise. If you desire love, you must feel the warmth and connection of a loving relationship, even if you are currently single. The key is to embody the state of your wish fulfilled, even before it shows up in your external world. One of the most common reasons people struggle to manifest their desires is that they are too focused on how it will happen. They believe that they need to figure out every step of the process before their wish can come true. But this is not how the creative process works. The how is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to focus on the end result and trust that the universe or the creative power within you will orchestrate the events necessary to bring your desire into reality. You do not need to know every step along the way. You only need to know that the way will be revealed as you move forward with faith. Imagine that you are driving to a distant city. You do not need to see the entire road before you begin the journey. You trust that as you drive, the next stretch of road will reveal itself, and you will reach your destination. In the same way, as you hold your desire in mind and move forward with faith, the next steps will unfold naturally. The right people, opportunities, and circumstances will show up at the right time. But this only happens when you let go of the need to control every detail and allow the process to unfold. Another important aspect of manifesting your desires is patience. Many people become frustrated or discouraged when their wishes do not manifest immediately. They expect instant results, and when they do not see any evidence of change, they lose faith and give up. But manifestation is a process, not an event. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a plant, your desires take time to manifest. Patience is not about waiting passively, it is about maintaining faith and confidence during the period between planting the seed and harvesting the fruit. During this waiting period, it is crucial to remain aligned with your desire. This means continuing to think, feel, and act as though your wish has already been fulfilled, even if there is no visible evidence yet. The temptation to give in to doubt and fear will be strong, but you must resist it. Every time you feel doubt creeping in, remind yourself that the process is already in motion, even if you cannot see it yet. The seed has been planted, and your job is to trust that it will grow. One of the most overlooked aspects of bringing any wish to reality is the ability to receive. Many people are excellent at imagining and affirming their desires, but they are not open to receiving them. This often stems from feelings of unworthiness, guilt, or fear of change. If you hold any of these limiting beliefs, they will block the flow of your desires into your life. You must believe that you are worthy of receiving all the good things you desire. You must allow yourself to accept the blessings that come your way, knowing that they are the natural result of the inner work you have done. To truly manifest your wishes, you must align every part of yourself with your desired outcome. This includes your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions. Every aspect of your being must be in harmony with the reality you want to create. This is the essence of the law of identical harvest. You will always reap what you sow. If you want to experience abundance, you must sow thoughts of abundance. If you want to experience love, you must sow thoughts of love. If you want to experience success, you must sow thoughts of success. Bringing any wish to reality is not a mysterious or unattainable process. It is a natural law, just like the law of gravity. By understanding the power of your imagination, persisting in the belief of your wish fulfilled, feeling the reality of your desire, and allowing the universe to unfold the path before you, you can bring any wish to fruition. The law of identical harvest guarantees that the seeds you plant in your mind will eventually grow into the reality you experience. The question is not whether the law works, the question is whether you are willing to work with it. The life you desire is already within you, waiting to be brought into existence. All you need to do is nurture it with faith, persistence, and belief, and it will inevitably come to pass. To bring any wish to reality, you must first understand a crucial truth: your outer world, the world you interact with daily, is simply a reflection of your inner state. It is easy to think that life happens to us, that external circumstances dictate our experiences, or that luck, fate, or other people are the driving forces behind what happens in our lives. But in reality, everything you encounter, everything you experience, begins within you. The events, circumstances, and opportunities you face all stem from the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that reside within you. This understanding is foundational if you are to bring any wish to reality. At its core, manifesting a desire starts with recognizing that your imagination is the source of creation. Everything begins as a thought or vision. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every achievement in human history first existed as an idea in someone's mind. In the same way, every change, every transformation, and every desire you wish to bring into your life must start within you, with your thoughts and your vision of that desire fulfilled. This is where the process begins, by acknowledging that your imagination is the most powerful tool at your disposal. What you see in your mind's eye, you can eventually experience in the physical world. The imagination is not just for fantasies or daydreams. It is a creative force that can shape the fabric of your reality. It is the soil in which the seeds of your desires are planted. Once you understand this, you can begin to harness your imagination with intention and purpose. You start by identifying clearly what it is that you wish to experience. However, identifying your desire is only the first step. It is not enough to simply want something. You must be able to see yourself as already having it. You must begin to live in the mental state of the person who has already achieved or received what you desire. This is where many people struggle. They desire something, but their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs contradict that desire. They imagine what they want, but in the next moment they doubt whether it is possible. They see their desire as something distant, something that might happen in the future, but is not a part of their present experience. To bring any wish to reality, you must close the gap between your current state and the state of having your desire. In your mind, you must already be that person who has what you want. If your desire is to experience wealth, you must imagine yourself living in abundance, feeling the security and freedom that comes with financial prosperity. If your desire is love, you must feel as though you are already in a loving, fulfilling relationship, even if your current circumstances do not reflect that. If your desire is success, you must begin to see yourself as successful now, not at some distant point in the future. This is the essence of identifying with your wish fulfilled. The power of this process lies in a universal principle, the law of identical harvest. This law states that whatever you plant in your mind will produce an identical harvest in your reality. So, in other words, the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you consistently hold will manifest in your external world. If you plant thoughts of lack, fear, and doubt, you will experience circumstances that reflect those thoughts. But if you plant thoughts of abundance, confidence, and joy, you will experience circumstances that reflect those positive states of mind. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. Just as a farmer cannot plant wheat and expect to harvest corn, you cannot plant negative thoughts and expect to experience positive results. The law of identical harvest is precise and unwavering. It is always at work, whether you are aware of it or not. Every moment of your life, you are sowing seeds in the fertile soil of your mind. The question is, what kind of seeds are you planting? Are you planting seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation? Or are you planting seeds of belief, possibility, and abundance? The results you experience in your life will always match the seeds you have planted. Once you have planted the seeds of your desire in your imagination, the next critical step is persistence. Many people fail to bring their wishes to reality because they do not persist in their vision. They may hold on to their desire for a few days, a few weeks, or even a few months, but when they do not see immediate results, they give up. They allow external circumstances to shake their belief, and they return to their old patterns of thinking. This inconsistency in thought is the primary reason why so many people fail to manifest their desires. Persistence means holding on to your vision of your wish fulfilled, no matter what happens in the external world. It means that even when things seem to be going wrong, even when there is no evidence that your desire is coming to fruition, you continue to believe in the reality of your wish fulfilled. You do not waver in your belief. You do not allow the appearances of the outside world to dictate your inner state. This is not about forcing things to happen. It is about maintaining a steady, unwavering conviction that your desire is already yours. The process of manifestation is much like the growth of a plant. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that beneath the surface, the seed is doing its work. It is drawing nutrients from the soil, it is putting down roots, and eventually it will sprout. In the same way, when you plant the seed of your desire in your mind, you must trust that the process is unfolding, even if you cannot see the results yet. The outer world may not change immediately, but that does not mean that change is not happening. It is simply happening beneath the surface in ways that are not yet visible. To persist in the belief of your wish fulfilled requires mental discipline. It requires you to keep your focus on what you want, even when doubts, fears, and challenges arise. Negative thoughts will inevitably come up, but you must learn to redirect them. Every time you catch yourself doubting the reality of your desire, remind yourself of your vision. Every time fear or anxiety tries to take hold, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about choosing to focus on the outcome you desire, rather than on the obstacles in your way. Feeling is another critical aspect of bringing any wish to reality. It is not enough to simply think about what you want, you must feel it as though it is already yours. Feeling is the emotional fuel that powers your creative process. When you feel the emotions associated with your desire, whether that is joy, excitement, peace, or love, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of that desire. You are sending a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. Many people struggle with this aspect of manifestation because they are too focused on their current circumstances. They find it difficult to feel wealthy when they are struggling financially. They find it hard to feel loved when they are lonely. But this is where the power of imagination comes in. Your imagination allows you to transcend your current reality and enter the state of your wish fulfilled. Every time you imagine your desire, allow yourself to feel the emotions that would come with it. Feel the joy, the excitement, the satisfaction of having your desire right now, in this moment. The more you can feel it, the more real it becomes. As you continue to cultivate the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you will begin to notice subtle changes in your external world. Opportunities will arise, people will show up, and circumstances will align in ways that support the fulfillment of your desire. But these changes are not random. They are the natural outgrowth of the seeds you have planted in your mind and nurtured with your feelings and beliefs. The universe responds to the vibration you are emitting, and it brings into your life experiences that match that vibration. One of the most common obstacles to manifesting your desires is the belief that you must know exactly how your wish will come to fruition. Many people get caught up in trying to figure out the details of how their desire will manifest, and this creates resistance. The truth is, you do not need to know how it will happen. You only need to know what you want and trust that the process will unfold in its own time and in its own way. The how is not your concern. Your concern is to stay focused on the end result, the fulfillment of your desire. When you focus on the how, you are limiting the infinite possibilities available to you. The universe, or the creative power within you, knows far more than you do about the best way to bring your desire into reality. It has access to resources, people, and opportunities that you could never have imagined. Your job is to trust the process and allow the path to unfold before you. This trust is essential because the process of manifestation often unfolds in ways that are unexpected. The journey to your desire may take twists and turns that you did not anticipate, but each step is a necessary part of the process. As long as you remain focused on your vision and trust that the universe is working on your behalf, you will eventually reach your destination. Another key element of bringing any wish to reality is patience. Many people give up on their desires because they do not see immediate results. They expect their wish to manifest overnight, and when it does not, they become frustrated and disheartened. But manifestation is a process, and it takes time. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a full-grown plant, your desires take time to manifest in the physical world. Patience is not about waiting idly, it is about maintaining faith and confidence during the period between planting the seed and harvesting the fruit. It is about trusting that the process is unfolding, even if you cannot see the results yet. The external world is often slow to catch up with the changes that are happening within you, but that does not mean the changes are not happening. They are simply taking time to manifest. During this period of waiting, it is essential to stay aligned with your desire. This means continuing to think, feel, and act as though your wish has already been fulfilled, even if there is no visible evidence yet. It is easy to lose faith when there is no immediate proof that your desire is coming to fruition. But this is where persistence and trust come into play. Finally, to truly bring any wish to reality, you must be open to receiving. Many people are excellent at visualizing and affirming their desires, but they are not open to receiving them. They may feel unworthy, guilty, or fearful of change. These limiting beliefs create blocks that prevent their desires from manifesting. You must believe that you are worthy of receiving everything you desire. You must allow yourself to accept the blessings that come your way, knowing that they are the natural result of the inner work you have done. Bringing any wish to reality is not a matter of luck or chance. It is a process that follows natural laws. By understanding the power of your imagination, persisting in the belief of your wish fulfilled, feeling the reality of your desire, and allowing the process to unfold without resistance, you can manifest any desire in your life. The law of identical harvest guarantees that the seeds you plant in your mind will eventually grow into the reality you experience. The only question is whether you are willing to do the inner work necessary to bring your wishes into reality. The power is already within you, you simply need to use it. In conclusion, the journey to bringing any wish into reality begins and ends within you. The external world is a reflection of your internal state, shaped by your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and persistent focus on your desires. By harnessing the creative power of your imagination, living in the state of your wish fulfilled, and aligning your emotions with that vision, you activate a process that mirrors the seeds you plant in your mind. The law of identical harvest ensures that what you nurture within will manifest without. As long as you persist in faith, trust the process, and remain open to receiving. This is not a mystical or elusive phenomenon, but a natural and reliable principle at work in every aspect of life. The reality you seek already exists within you, waiting for your conscious direction to be brought forth into your experience. With patience, unwavering belief, and the willingness to receive, you can turn any wish into reality, understanding that the power to create and transform your life is entirely in your hands. The path to fulfillment is already paved, and by aligning your inner world with your desires, you ensure that every wish will find its way to you. When life becomes heavy with worries, it's easy to forget that there is a higher power that stands ready to take on the burdens we carry. You are not meant to carry them alone. The key to peace lies in recognizing this truth. Give it to God. Surrender your concerns to the divine, and free your mind from the overwhelming weight of fear and uncertainty. We often find ourselves consumed by the thoughts of what could go wrong, what we have yet to fix, or how things may unfold. But in doing so, we create our own prison. The act of worrying only serves to reinforce the illusion that we are in control. The truth is, you are not in control of everything, and that is a blessing. Control can bind you, but surrendering can free you. You are a creation of divine purpose, and the source of all things is within you. When you align with this truth, you understand that you don't have to do it all by yourself. You can release the anxiety and trust in divine timing, knowing that every step is guided by a higher intelligence. It is through trust, through giving your worries to God, that you step into a space of complete peace. Think of the countless moments when you worried and the outcome still arrived in ways you could not have imagined. Do you not see that these moments are proof of the divine intelligence that guides you, even in your uncertainty? When you choose to trust in God, you stop resisting the flow of life. And that's when the true miracles happen. The mind is powerful, and it creates realities based on what it holds on to. But when you let go of the worries, when you release the desire to control outcomes, your mind becomes clear and open to inspiration, to solutions, to divine intervention. The more you give it to God, the more you make room for divine creativity to work in your life. You open the door to peace, to guidance, to clarity. The universe listens to the energy you project. When you carry worry, you create more of it. But when you surrender and trust, you begin to attract solutions, opportunities, and the things you need to bring about the life you desire. You stop fighting against the flow and instead allow it to carry you where you are meant to go. This is not a passive act, it is an active choice to trust. It is the choice to shift your perspective from fear to faith. Faith in the divine order, faith in your inherent worth, faith in the path that is unfolding before you, even when you cannot see it clear. Release your grip on the outcome. Let it go. Allow God to handle what you cannot. In this act of surrender, you will find freedom. Your mind will be free of the weight of worry, and you will begin to see life unfolding in ways you could never have planned. You are not alone in this journey. God is with you. Each worry that you release becomes a step closer to peace, a step closer to understanding that everything is working out for your good. Trust in the process, trust in the divine intelligence, and give it to God. The moment you let go, you are met with the freedom and peace you have been seeking all along. As you continue to walk through life, it's easy to find yourself trapped in cycles of uncertainty, overwhelmed by the demands of the world around you. The pressures of work, family, health, and all the things we feel responsible for can easily weigh us down. We begin to question every decision, every action, and every possibility. What if it's too late? What if I don't have what it takes? What if these questions, though natural, can lead you into a state of constant worry, robbing you of your peace and the clarity you need to move forward? But here's the reality: none of this worry serves you. Worrying does not change your circumstances, nor does it make you stronger. In fact, it weakens your ability to handle challenges because it clouds your mind and heart. But there is another way, a way that doesn't involve carrying all of this on your own shoulders. You were never meant to. You were never meant to be burdened by every challenge that comes your way. Life is not a test of your endurance alone, but a journey to discover that you are part of something much greater than yourself. There is a divine plan, a cosmic order, and a force greater than any worry or obstacle that you could ever face. That force, that divine intelligence, is always there, ready to guide you, protect you, and support you. And you are invited to trust it. When you choose to surrender your worries to God, you open yourself to the full power of the divine. You recognize that the weight you feel is not yours to carry alone. You are a co-creator in this world, but there is a force that is working on your behalf, orchestrating the outcomes in ways that you may not understand in the moment. Your mind, clouded by worry, cannot always see the bigger picture. But when you allow yourself to release the burden, to trust the process, you align yourself with that higher intelligence. You allow the divine to lead, and you step into a space of peace, knowing that what is meant for you will find its way. It's important to understand that giving it to God doesn't mean sitting idly by. It doesn't mean that you give up on your goals or stop taking action in your life. It simply means that you stop carrying the weight of every possible outcome. You let go of the need to control every detail, and instead you begin to act with faith. You take inspired action, you do your part, but you trust that the outcome is already decided. The divine already knows the way, and it is always leading you to your highest good. Imagine for a moment that you could release the need to control everything. Imagine that instead of worrying about all the things that might go wrong, you could trust that things are going to work out exactly as they should. The peace that would come from this shift would be unparalleled. No more sleepless nights, no more anxiety-filled days, no more second-guessing your decisions. You are free to live fully, free to love more deeply, free to follow the guidance that comes to you. When you stop worrying, you allow the energy of peace to enter your life, and with it the clarity to make better decisions and the strength to face whatever challenges may arise. Worrying is a form of resistance. It is your mind fighting against what is. But the truth is, everything is happening exactly as it is meant to. The universe is unfolding in divine timing, and your life is a part of that perfect design. Even the difficulties, the struggles, and the obstacles have a purpose. They are not there to punish you, but to shape you, to guide you toward your higher self. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to trust in a power greater than yourself. But if you hold on tightly to worry, you block the flow of divine energy. You cannot receive the answers, the solutions, or the blessings that are waiting for you. You cannot hear the whispers of guidance when you are constantly wrapped up in fear. This is why letting go of worry is so powerful. When you give it to God, you open up space for divine wisdom to flow through you. You allow inspiration to come into your heart, and you create the conditions for miracles to manifest in your life. Imagine the possibilities when you stop worrying about how things will unfold and instead focus on doing what is in your power with faith. You do not need to have every step of the plan figured out. You only need to trust that the path will be shown to you when you are ready. It's important to understand that you are not powerless in this process. Giving it to God is not a passive act. It is an active choice to trust. It is a choice to surrender the need to control, to accept that some things are beyond your understanding, and to have faith that everything is unfolding in divine order. It is through this trust that you become empowered. You align with the divine flow, and in doing so you are guided to the right actions at the right time. It is a good thing to go unguided to the right actions at the right time. It's not just your life begins to take on a new momentum, one that is fueled by faith rather than fear. And let's not forget the power of prayer. Prayer is not just a request, it is a conversation with the divine. It is a moment of connecting with the higher power within you, and it is an opportunity to release all of your burdens. When you pray, you are not simply asking for help, you are affirming that you trust in divine intervention. You are acknowledging that you do not have to do it alone. You are inviting the divine to take over, to guide you, to protect you, and to show you the way. And at the same time, the divine is protecting and to show you the way. Prayer is an act of surrender, an act of allowing. And in that act of surrender, you create the space for miracles to happen. As you let go of your worries, you begin to shift your focus. You no longer focus on what might go wrong, but on what you are creating. You begin to trust in your own power, in the divine force within you, and in the support that is always available to you. You begin to see that you are not at the mercy of your circumstances, but that you are co-creating your reality with a higher power. The divine is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, and helping you navigate the challenges of life. This is the power of surrender. It is not weakness, but strength. It is the strength to trust in something greater than yourself. It is the courage to let go of the need to control, and the faith to believe that all things are working together for your good. When you give it to God, you free your mind from the burden of worry, and you make room for divine guidance to lead you to where you are meant to go. The path ahead of you is not always clear, and sometimes it may feel uncertain, but in those moments, remember that the divine is guiding you. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When you release the worries and fears, you free your mind to see the opportunities before you and to take inspired action toward your dreams. You no longer need to be overwhelmed by the unknown. You can trust that the answers will come, the solutions will arise, and the blessings will unfold. You are never alone in this journey. The divine is with you every step of the way. As you walk through the unfolding journey of life, you will undoubtedly encounter moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. These are not signs of weakness, nor are they evidence of failure. Rather, they are a part of the human experience, an opportunity to discover a deeper, more trusting connection with the divine. These moments are not meant to break you, but to remind you that there is something greater than yourself at play. And in those moments, when the weight of your worries feels unbearable, you are given a choice: to hold on tightly or to release and trust. Consider for a moment the immense power you possess when you choose to trust. Trust is not something that can be seen with the physical eyes. It is a knowing that transcends logic and reason. It is a quiet certainty in the heart that all is well, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. Trust is the language of the soul. It is a surrender to the understanding that not every step of the journey needs to be understood right now. When you begin to truly give it to God, you are tapping into this profound trust. You are saying, I do not need to have control over everything. I surrender my worries and my anxieties to a higher power, knowing that I am held, supported, and guided in every moment. You are giving yourself permission to stop fighting against the flow of life. Instead of pushing, resisting, and trying to manage every detail, you allow the divine to step in and work its magic. The moment you release your grip on the need to control, you open the door to receiving the gifts that are already waiting for you. It is important to recognize that this release is not a sign of giving up. Far from it. Giving it to God is an act of profound faith. It is a declaration that you believe in the unseen, in a force greater than your own limited understanding. When you trust in the divine order, you stop making decisions based on fear and anxiety. You stop letting the weight of your worries dictate your actions, and instead you begin to move forward with a calm assurance that you are walking the path that is meant for you. This act of surrender does not mean inaction. It is not about sitting back and waiting for life to happen to you. No, it is about allowing yourself to be guided, to be open to inspiration, and to take the necessary steps with confidence. The divine will never leave you stagnant, but as you stop worrying, as you let go of your need to control every outcome, you will find that the right actions present themselves to you. You will be guided to the next step with a quiet clarity, free from the noise of doubt and fear. Life has a way of showing you that your worries are often misplaced. When you look back on the times when you were consumed by anxiety, can you not see how often things turned out differently than you had imagined? The moments of greatest growth often come from those experiences where you had no idea how things would unfold, but when they did, they unfolded perfectly. This is the proof of the divine hand at work in your life. It is the evidence that there is a plan, even when you cannot see it in the moment. The more you surrender, the more you begin to see this divine order at work. You begin to understand that worrying serves no purpose other than to keep you trapped in the illusion of control. Your worries are a distraction from the present moment, and the present moment is all that exists. In the now you can experience peace. In the now you can experience joy. But when you are lost in the what-ifs of the future or the should-haves of the past, you miss the beauty that is right in front of you. And the mystery of life, which is the should-haves of the past, is greater than the mystery of life, which is the should-haves of the past. You miss the beauty that is right in front of you. Every moment that you spend worrying is a moment that you are taking away from your own peace. You begin to feel the weight lifting off your shoulders, and you can finally see that you are not alone in this journey. You are supported, you are loved, and you are never without guidance. One of the most beautiful things about surrendering your worries to God is that it allows you to align with your true nature. Your true nature is one of peace, of love, and of trust. When you live in alignment with your true self, you step into the fullness of your potential. You stop allowing external circumstances to define you. Instead, you become a vessel for divine love and light, radiating that energy outward into the world. Think about it. When you are at peace, you are a magnet for all that you desire. When you stop worrying about how things will unfold, you open up to the infinite possibilities of life. The divine will guide you to the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances. But when you are bogged down by worry, you cannot hear the whispers of guidance. You cannot see the signs that are right in front of you. You are too distracted by your fears to notice the blessings that are already making their way to you. This is why it is so important to give it to God. When you release your worries, you allow yourself to be in tune with the rhythm of the universe. You stop resisting the flow of life and instead you begin to flow with it. You trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and you allow yourself to be guided every step of the way. You may not always understand why things are happening the way they are, but you trust that there is a reason, a purpose, and a divine plan behind it all. In the moments when you feel the urge to worry, remind yourself that you are not in this alone. You are part of something much bigger than yourself. You are supported by the divine, and you are guided by the infinite wisdom of the universe. When you give it to God, you are acknowledging that you are not in control, but that you are part of a larger, more beautiful plan that is unfolding exactly as it should. You can release the burden of worry and embrace the peace that comes with trust. When you allow yourself to trust in the divine, you stop trying to force things to happen. Instead, you begin to act with inspired intention. You begin to take steps in alignment with your higher purpose, knowing that each action is guided by a force greater than your own understanding. You begin to live with an open heart and an open mind, ready to receive the blessings that are waiting for you. You trust that the right opportunities will come to you and that everything you need will be provided. The power of surrender lies in the freedom it brings. When you let go of your worries, you free yourself from the chains that hold you captive. You no longer need to fight against the current of life. Instead, you begin to flow with it, trusting that the divine is leading you exactly where you need to go. You are no longer bogged down by the need to control every aspect of your life. You are free to live, to love, and to experience the world in its fullness. The practice of giving it to God is not a one-time act. It is a continual choice that you make every day. Each time you feel the weight of worry pressing down on you, you can choose to release it. You can choose to trust in the divine, knowing that you are held in the embrace of something greater. Every time you let go, you step into a space of greater peace, greater clarity, and greater possibility. The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to trust, to release, and to live in the flow of divine guidance. So remember this, you are never alone. You do not have to carry the weight of worry on your own. Give it to God and free your mind from the endless cycle of fear and doubt. Trust in the divine and allow yourself to be led to the life that is waiting for you. Every worry that you let go of is a step closer to the peace that you seek. You are not alone in this journey. The divine is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, and showing you the way. When you look at the world around you, there's a consistent rhythm that pulses through everything, through nature, through the changing seasons, and through the cycles of the universe. This rhythm is perfect, and it is governed by laws that operate independently of human understanding. Just like the earth rotates around the sun without interruption, or the tides rise and fall in perfect harmony, there is an underlying divine order to your life. This is where you must place your trust, for within this cosmic flow lies the answer to your deepest questions and worries. Each time you experience worry, it's a sign that you've stepped away from this natural order. Worry is the human mind trying to control what is beyond its control. It's the ego's attempt to hold on to something that can't be held on to. Yet worry doesn't bring peace or resolution. It only serves to create turmoil within. But peace comes from surrender, from the acknowledgement that you are not alone in your struggles, and that the divine is always present, gently guiding you, even when you can't see it. As you give it to God, you are allowing yourself to flow back into alignment with the natural order. You are not abandoning responsibility, nor are you avoiding action. On the contrary, you are acknowledging that there is wisdom in the unknown, that there is purpose even in uncertainty. When you trust in the divine plan, you trust that your actions will align with that greater purpose, and that you will be guided to the next step in your journey, even when it is not immediately clear. Consider the nature of a seed. It is planted in the earth, surrounded by darkness, and it appears as if it is doing nothing. But under the surface, something is happening. It is being nourished, cultivated, and prepared for growth. In time, when the conditions are right, the seed sprouts and begins to grow toward the light. The seed has no control over the process. It must trust the earth, the water, the air, and the sun, knowing that these forces will work together to bring it to life. Your life operates in much the same way. When you surrender your worries to the divine, you are like that seed. You may not always see the progress that is being made behind the scenes, but know that things are always working in your favor. When you are not constantly trying to manage every detail, you give yourself the space to grow, to evolve, and to unfold into the person you are meant to be. Worry can only arise when the ego believes that it has the power to control outcomes. It comes from the belief that if you don't intervene, something will go wrong. But this belief is rooted in fear, not truth. The truth is that you are a part of a divine design, and everything is unfolding according to that design. When you give it to God, you release the illusion of control and acknowledge that the divine is the ultimate architect of your life. And just as the seed trusts the earth to nourish it, you must trust the divine to nourish and guide you through every step of your journey. The key to understanding the power of surrender is realizing that it is not a passive act. Surrendering your worries does not mean giving up on life, nor does it mean being passive in the face of challenges. It simply means choosing to step out of the way of the divine flow, allowing it to guide your actions and responses. It means choosing trust over doubt, faith over fear. It means acknowledging that while you may not have control over every circumstance, you have the power to choose your attitude and your response. And in this choice, you unlock your inner strength. This inner strength is cultivated when you allow yourself to rest in the knowledge that all is as it should be. Yes, there will be moments of difficulty, but they are not signs of failure. They are invitations for growth, opportunities for your spiritual and personal development. Each challenge is an opportunity for you to choose how you respond. When you surrender your worries, you create the mental and emotional space to receive the divine guidance that is always available to you. Think of the way you would treat a dear friend who is in need. If they were troubled by worries, you would reassure them that they are not alone, that they are supported and loved, and that everything will work out in the end. You would encourage them to trust in the process and to have faith that they will make it through. Now, extend that same compassion to yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to others. You are worthy of that compassion, worthy of trusting that the divine is working in your favor. You are not alone in your struggles, and you do not need to carry the burden of worry. When you decide to give it to God, you are choosing peace over chaos, trust over fear, and love over worry. You are allowing the divine to take the reins, trusting that you are being led to exactly where you need to be, even if you cannot yet see the path clearly. This act of surrender frees you from the weight of expectations, from the pressures of trying to control every aspect of your life. It seems you have no choice but to accept that you are now in the arms of the greatest wish of your life, which is your correct path, which I've called the choice of. You stop trying to force things to happen, and instead you allow them to unfold naturally, in their own time. This doesn't mean that you stop taking action. On the contrary, when you give it to God, you open yourself to inspired action. You allow yourself to be guided by intuition, by the whispers of the divine, and by the wisdom that comes from within. Instead of reacting out of fear or anxiety, you begin to act with clarity, with purpose, and with confidence. When you stop worrying about how things will turn out, you free your mind to focus on what you can do in the present moment to align with your highest good. There is a power in the present moment that is often overlooked. We spend so much of our time worrying about the future or regretting the past that we forget that the only moment that truly matters is now. When you give it to God, you return to the present moment. You stop living in the past or the future, and you begin to experience life as it is in its fullness. The future will unfold on its own, and the past is already gone. All that you have is the present moment, and it is in this moment that you can choose to trust. When you give it to God, you align yourself with the flow of life. You let go of the resistance that comes from trying to control every aspect of your existence. You surrender the worry, the fear, the doubt, and the anxiety, and you replace them with trust, faith, and peace. This is not a passive act, but an active decision to choose the divine over the ego, peace over worry, and love over fear. And this act of surrender, you open yourself up to the blessings that are already on their way to you. You allow yourself to experience life as it was meant to be experienced, free from the chains of worry, free from the need to control, and free to trust in the divine timing of your journey. When you make the decision to stop worrying, it's important to recognize that this is not merely about pushing aside your fears and anxieties for a moment of relief. It is not simply putting them under the surface for a later time when they may resurface again. Giving your worries to God is not a temporary escape. It is a deep, transformative surrender. It's allowing the divine presence to permeate every part of you, guiding your thoughts, emotions, and actions. When you trust the process, you are placing yourself in the hands of a force far greater than any individual struggle you may face. This trust does not imply inaction. It does not mean that you sit idly by while the world moves around you. It means you act with faith, guided by a higher wisdom that knows what's best for you, even when you cannot see it yourself. When you release your worries, you begin to see more clearly. You allow yourself to move freely through life, no longer weighed down by the fear of what may or may not happen. The divine will always guide you, but only if you let go of the belief that you must control everything. You let go of the anxiety about potential outcomes, the fear of failure, and the constant wondering if you are doing enough. And instead you act with the confidence that comes from knowing that what is meant for you is already on its way. At times you may not even fully understand the reason for a challenge or a setback. You may find yourself questioning the timing of things, wondering why certain things have not yet materialized. But it is precisely in these moments that you must trust more deeply than ever before. You cannot see the entire picture, but the divine sees all. The delays, the setbacks, the seemingly unanswered prayers, they are all part of a greater plan that you cannot fully comprehend from your current vantage point. When you stop worrying, you stop fighting the natural course of events. You let go of the resistance that only serves to prolong the journey, and you allow things to unfold as they should. Think of a river flowing endlessly toward the ocean. It does not resist the current, nor does it question the path it must take. It simply moves, trusting in the direction it is being guided. Even when there are rocks or obstacles in the way, the river does not fight against them. Instead, it flows around them, finding its way toward the ocean. You are that river. Your worries are like rocks placed in your path, but when you trust the flow of the divine current, you can navigate any obstacle with ease. You may not know how things will work out, but you can be sure that they will, and when they do, you will be exactly where you are meant to be. Each worry you let go of is like a stone you place down, and as you do, you begin to feel the weight of those burdens lifting. You can breathe easier, think clearer, and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Worry clouds your mind and makes it harder to take clear, inspired action. But when you stop worrying and give it to God, you free your mind to receive divine guidance. You begin to operate not from a place of fear and scarcity, but from a place of peace and abundance. You are no longer trying to force things into being, but rather you are allowing them to manifest in their own time and in the perfect way. And it's important to remember that giving it to God is not about passively waiting for something to happen, but about taking proactive steps in the direction of your desires, with the knowledge that the divine will align everything for you. You act as if you already have everything you need because you know that the universe will provide. This is not a denial of the reality of your circumstances, but rather an acceptance that there is a higher power at work, one that is infinitely more capable than your limited understanding. When you give it to God, you surrender your limited view of what is possible and open yourself to the limitless potential that lies within the divine. You do not need to worry about how things will unfold. That is not your job. Your job is to trust, to believe, and to align your thoughts and actions with the truth of who you are. You are a divine creation, and as such you have the power to co-create your reality with the divine, but this requires you to trust in the process. It requires you to believe that everything you need will come to you in perfect timing. Worry only creates resistance. It holds you back from stepping into the full power of your potential. When you surrender your worries, you are making a conscious decision to stop living in the realm of what if, and to instead live in the realm of what is. You stop projecting your fears and anxieties onto the future and start embracing the present moment. The present is all that you truly have, and it is in this moment that the divine is acting in your life. Your mind cannot hold on to two things at once. It cannot hold on to the fear of what might happen and also receive the divine guidance that is here for you now. So when you let go of your worries, you make room for divine wisdom to enter. This does not mean you become passive or resigned to whatever happens. Far from it. It means that you take action from a place of clarity and alignment, knowing that your efforts are in harmony with the divine will. It means acting with courage, knowing that you are supported in all that you do. And it means trusting that the results will unfold in a way that serves your highest good, even when it doesn't look like what you expected. The universe does not always operate in the ways you think it will, but it always operates in the ways that are best for you, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. You do not have to figure it all out. You do not need to know the how or the when or the why. When you stop worrying, you stop overthinking and second-guessing every decision. You allow the divine to guide you, and you trust that the next step will always be revealed. Your job is simply to be present, to take the next right action, and to trust that everything is working out for your good. In this surrender, you find your true strength. The strength that comes from knowing that you are not alone, that you are never without guidance, and that every moment is an opportunity for you to grow and evolve. Worry steals that strength. It makes you believe that you are small, weak, and powerless. But the truth is that you are strong beyond measure, capable of handling any challenge that comes your way, and supported by a divine presence that is always with you. When you give it to God, you step into that strength. You stop seeing yourself as a small, separate being and start recognizing yourself as a divine expression of the Creator. As you walk through life with this new awareness, you begin to notice that things start to fall into place with more ease. Opportunities present themselves, challenges become easier to overcome, and your mind becomes clearer. You are no longer bogged down by the weight of worry and doubt. Instead, you move through life with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that the divine is working on your behalf in ways you cannot always see. When you make the decision to stop worrying and give it to God, you are making a powerful declaration that you trust in the divine timing of your life. You are saying that you trust the universe to bring you what you need at the right time and in the perfect way. You are trusting that you are always in the right place at the right time, and that everything you need is already on its way. This is not a passive acceptance of your circumstances, but an active choice to trust in the divine order of things and to take inspired action from a place of peace and confidence. In this surrender, you find the peace that you've been searching for. It's not a peace that comes from controlling your circumstances, but a peace that comes from knowing that you are part of something much greater than yourself. You are part of a divine plan, and when you trust in that plan, you free yourself from the grip of worry. And as you walk this path, you will see that the worries you once held so tightly to will dissolve, and in their place will come a deep sense of peace, trust, and knowing that everything is always working out for your highest good. As you continue to surrender your worries, something remarkable begins to happen within you. You start to realize that the weight you've been carrying, the constant pressure of trying to control every outcome, was never yours to bear in the first place. The belief that everything depends on you is a heavy burden to carry, but when you let go and trust in something greater, you lighten your load. The very act of surrendering frees your heart and mind from the tight grip of fear and uncertainty. Go and claim the binding law of good health and wellness. You go to claim the great fear of illness. You claim the binding law of good health and uncertainty. All that surrounds you. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves are powerful and they are crashing against the shore. Each wave represents a worry, an anxiety, or a fear. For years you may have tried to control these waves, to predict when they would come and how strong they would be. You may have tried to stand against them, only to be knocked down time and time again. But now you realize that you don't have to fight the waves. You don't have to try and stop them. Instead, you can simply step back and allow the waves to move on their own. The ocean will continue to flow whether you resist or not. And so will your life. The more you fight against the waves of worry, the more exhausted you become. But when you choose to trust, when you choose to let go, the waves, they pass you by, and you remain standing firm, calm, and composed, knowing that you are supported by a force far greater than any challenge you face. This shift in perspective is not just about mental relief. It is a profound transformation in how you interact with life itself. When you stop worrying, you stop living in the future, and you stop letting the past control you. Worry is rooted in the fear of the unknown, the fear of things going wrong, of things not turning out as you hope. But when you give it to God, you release the need to control the outcome. You step into a space where the future is no longer a source of stress and the past no longer holds you back. You are fully present in this moment, and that's where the power lies. It's in the present that you find peace. When you stop worrying, you stop projecting into a future that doesn't yet exist, and you stop replaying past events that cannot be changed. The more you focus on the now, the more you recognize that everything you need is already available to you. All the resources, all the opportunities, all the solutions, they are here, in this moment, and by trusting in the divine flow, you allow yourself to be guided to them without resistance, without doubt, and without fear. Worry is the opposite of trust. When you worry, you create a mental block that prevents you from seeing the truth of your situation. Worry keeps you trapped in the illusion of lack, in the belief that something is missing, that something is wrong, that you are not enough. But when you let go of worry, you open yourself up to the reality of abundance, to the truth that you have everything you need right now, in this very moment. You may not always see it with your physical eyes, but when you trust in the divine, you begin to recognize that your true needs are always met in perfect timing. Letting go of worry is also an act of self-love. It is an acknowledgement that you deserve peace, that you are worthy of being free from anxiety and fear. When you carry the weight of worry, you are telling yourself that you do not trust your own worth, that you do not believe you are capable of handling what comes your way. But when you release that burden, you are telling yourself that you believe in your own strength, your own resilience, and your ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and ease. You are telling yourself that you are deserving of peace, of happiness, of fulfillment, and of divine guidance. This shift towards trust and peace opens the door to your highest potential. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to act with clarity, purpose, and confidence, because you are no longer clouded by fear or doubt. Your decisions become inspired, aligned with the divine will, and you take each step knowing that you are walking in the right direction. When you trust, you take action without the constant questioning of whether you are making the right choice. You trust that the path is unfolding as it should, and that each decision is part of a larger divine plan. Trusting and surrendering to the divine doesn't mean that you never face challenges. Life will always present obstacles. But when you stop worrying, you face these challenges with a sense of calm and clarity. You no longer feel defeated by difficult situations because you know that they are simply part of the process. You know that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to strengthen your trust in the divine and in yourself. And when you do face challenges, you are better equipped to handle them because your mind is clear, your heart is open, and your faith is unwavering. Worry is the result of an underlying belief that you are not in control, and that can feel uncomfortable. But the truth is, you were never meant to control everything. Control is an illusion. You cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the timing of events. But you can control how you respond to life. When you do this, you reclaim your power. You realize that the true source of strength is not in control, but in surrender. The divine is in control, and when you align yourself with that divine power, you become an unstoppable force. You become a vessel through which miracles can flow. Your mind is a powerful tool, and when you fill it with worry, you create a cycle of negativity and fear. For when you fill it with trust and faith, you open yourself up to the abundant possibilities that await you. Trust is the foundation upon which all things are built. It is the cornerstone of your success, your peace, and your happiness. The more you trust, the more you align with the divine flow, and the more you will see the world around you reflect that trust. As you continue to let go of worry and surrender to the divine, you will notice that your life begins to change in ways you could never have imagined. You will experience more peace, more joy, and more opportunities than you ever thought possible. And it will not come from your efforts, your hard work, or your struggle. It will come from your willingness to trust, to let go, and to align yourself with the divine plan. In every moment you have a choice, to worry or to trust. Worry keeps you locked in a mental prison, while trust opens the doors to freedom. When you choose trust, you are choosing to step into the flow of divine abundance, to release the need for control, and to embrace the peace that comes from knowing that everything is always working out for your highest good. And as you continue to trust, you will find that worry no longer has a place in your life. It will fall away, and in its place will come a deep, abiding peace, a sense of clarity and purpose, and the unwavering knowledge that you are always supported by the divine. When you stop worrying, you not only transform your present moment, but also create the foundation for a future filled with peace and fulfillment. Worry is an unconscious way of resisting what is, and it distracts you from the present. It takes you out of the flow of life, filling your mind with endless concerns about what might go wrong. This is a distortion of your true nature. You are not meant to live in a constant state of fear or anxiety. You are meant to live in alignment with the divine, fully trusting that whatever unfolds is part of a greater plan. The more you trust, the more you connect to the abundance of the universe. The universe is constantly supporting you, always aligning with your highest good. But when you worry, you resist that support. Worry is a way of saying, I don't believe that things are working out for me. But when you release that worry, when you stop trying to control every detail, you open up space for the divine to step in. You allow things to unfold naturally, without forcing, without stressing, and without the constant pressure of trying to make everything fit into your desired timeline. Your worries are a reflection of your attachment to a particular outcome. When you give it to God, you let go of the need to dictate the course of events. You trust that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, and everything is happening for your growth and benefit. One of the most profound shifts you will experience when you stop worrying is the deep sense of freedom that comes with letting go of control. The desire to control is rooted in the belief that if you don't, things will go wrong. You believe that your involvement is necessary to ensure a positive outcome. But this belief is limiting. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of stress and dissatisfaction. When you surrender control, you let go of the anxiety that comes with trying to control the uncontrollable. You release the need to micromanage every situation. You acknowledge that life has its own rhythm, and sometimes the best thing you can do is to trust that rhythm and follow where it leads. This shift from worry to trust allows you to begin seeing life through a different lens. Instead of perceiving challenges as threats, you start to see them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Every challenge becomes a chance to practice trust, to remind yourself that you are not alone, that divine support is always with you. You no longer fear the unknown because you know that it is within the unknown where miracles happen. And you trust that even in moments of uncertainty, everything is working out for your highest good. The more you practice surrendering your worries, the more you align with your higher self. You become more connected to the divine wisdom that resides within you. Your intuition becomes clearer, and you begin to feel guided in every decision you make. There is a flow to life, and when you stop resisting it, you begin to move with that flow instead of against it. When you trust in the divine plan, you no longer need to force or control situations. You allow them to unfold naturally, knowing that everything will happen at the right time and in the right way. One of the most powerful aspects of releasing worry is that it opens you up to receive. When you are consumed by worry, you block yourself from the abundance that is already present in your life. You are so focused on what might go wrong that you miss the opportunities, the gifts, and the blessings that are right in front of you. You become open to receiving not just the material things you may desire, but the intangible gifts as well. Peace, love, joy, and the confidence that you are always supported. Trust is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. It is the force that connects you to the divine source. When you trust, you are acknowledging that you are a part of something far greater than yourself. You no longer feel isolated or alone. You understand that you are always held, always guided, and always loved. But when you surrender, you remember that you are not alone. You are deeply connected to the infinite wisdom and love that governs the universe. Worry keeps you in a state of disconnection. It is a form of resistance to the flow of life. The more you worry, the more you separate yourself from the divine plan. But when you let go, you release that resistance, and you align with the flow of life. You begin to experience the peace that comes from being in harmony with the universe. You understand that you do not need to fight against life. Life is not an enemy. Life is your partner, working with you to bring you closer to your dreams, to your highest potential. The more you trust, the more your life becomes an expression of divine will. You begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances. Things that once seemed impossible begin to unfold with ease. Doors that were once closed open effortlessly, and you realize that you were never meant to struggle. Struggle is a result of resistance. When you stop resisting, life flows effortlessly, and the divine gifts you with what you need at every moment. It's not that life is suddenly perfect or free from challenges, but rather that you face those challenges with peace and confidence. You no longer feel overwhelmed because you know that you are being supported every step of the way. Surrendering to God and letting go of worry does not mean that you no longer take action or that you abandon responsibility. It means that you act from a place of trust and faith. You take inspired action not out of fear or urgency, but from a place of alignment. You do not feel rushed or pressured. You know that your actions are in harmony with the greater plan, and you trust that you are moving in the right direction. You come from within with the optimism of a prophet, and suddenly the world becomes Thomas. Now, you begin to feel more in tune with your own inner guidance, and you trust it more deeply. Your intuition becomes clearer as you stop filling your mind with the noise of worry. Instead of second-guessing yourself, you trust the feelings and impressions that arise within you. These inner nudges are the divine whispers guiding you towards your highest. You know that by trusting yourself and the divine plan, you are always on the right path, even if that path doesn't always look the way you imagined. The practice of letting go of worry is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. It is a practice of trust, faith, and alignment. The more you do it, the more you experience the peace that comes from knowing that everything is working out for you. Worry keeps you in a state of tension, fear, and resistance. But trust opens you up to the flow of life. It is through trust that you step into your true power, and it is through trust that you align with your divine purpose. As you continue on this journey of letting go of worry and trusting in the divine, you will begin to see profound changes in your life. The challenges that once seemed overwhelming will no longer have the same power over you. You will face them with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that you are supported and guided every step of the way. You will become more attuned to the flow of life, more in tune with your inner wisdom, and more at peace with. And as you let go of worry, you will realize that everything you need is already here. The divine is always at work in your life, and when you stop resisting, you open yourself up to the endless possibilities that await you. Letting go of worry and giving it to God is not merely an act of surrender, but a powerful choice to align yourself with the divine flow of life. By trusting in the greater plan, you release the burdens of fear and control, allowing peace to take root within your heart. The universe is always supporting you, and as you stop resisting, you open the doors to endless possibilities and blessings. It's mine. You are not alone in your struggles. Divine guidance is always available, and with trust, your path becomes clear and filled with abundant opportunities. When you choose trust over worry, you unlock the peace and power that reside within you, and you step confidently into the life you are meant to live.